Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Shrunmatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayantasto Hyabadrani Vidunoti Suhrit Satam Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatir Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 4, Text 28 and 29. तत्पश्यतां के भुवि चाद्भुतं महत् हाहेति वादस्सु महान् अजायत अन्तः प्रिया दैवतमस्य देवी जहावसून् केन सतिः प्रकोपिता तत्पश्यतां के भुवि चाद्भुतं महत् हाहेति वादस्सु महान् अजायत अन्तः प्रिया दैवतमस्य देवी जहावसून् केन सतिः प्रकोपिता तत्पश्यतां के भुवि चाद्भुतं महद् हाहेति वादः सुमहान् अजायत हन्तः प्रिया दैवतमस्य देवी जहाव असून् केन सतिः प्रकोपिता tat that tapashyatam of those who had seen k in the sky bhuvi on the earth cha and adbhutam wonderful mahat great ha ha oho iti thus vadah roar sumahan tumultuous ajayata occurred hanta alas priya the beloved Daivatamasya of the most respectable demigod Lord Shiva, Devi, Sati, Jahav, quit, Asoon, her life, Kena by Daksha, Sati, Prakopita, angered. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. When Sati annihilated her body in anger, there was a tumultuous uproar all over the universe. Why had Sati, the wife of the most respectable demigod, Lord Shiva, quit her body in such a manner? Purport. There was a tumultuous uproar roaring all over the universe in the societies of demigods of different planets because Sati was the daughter of Daksha, the greatest of all kings, and wife of Lord Shiva, the greatest of all demigods. Why did she become so angry that she gave up her body? Since she was the daughter of a great personality and wife of a great personality, she had nothing to desire, but still she gave up her body in dissatisfaction. Certainly, this was astonishing. One cannot attain complete satisfaction even if one is situated in the greatest material opulence. There was nothing Sati could not achieve either from her relationship with her father or from her relationship with the greatest of the demigods, but still, for some reason, she was dissatisfied. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.6 explains that one has to achieve real satisfaction. Yayatma suprasidati. But Atma, the body, mind, and soul, all become completely satisfied only if one develops devotional service to the absolute truth. Savai pumsam paro dharma yado bhaktir adokshaje. Adokshaja means the absolute truth. If one can develop his unflinching love for the transcendental supreme personality of Godhead, that can give complete satisfaction. Otherwise, there is no possibility of satisfaction in the material world or anywhere else. Text 29. अहो अनात्म्यं महदस्य पश्यत प्रजापतेर्यस्य चराचरं प्रजाः जहाव असून् यद्विमतात्मजा सति मनस्विनी मानमभीक्षणम् अर्हति अहो अनात्म्यं महदस्य पश्यत प्रजापतेर्यस्य चराचरं प्रजाः जहाव असून् यद्विमतात्मजा सति मनस्विनी मानमभीक्षणमर्हति अहो अनात्म्यं महदस्य पश्यत प्रजापतेर्यस्य चराचरं प्रजाः जहाव असून् यद्विमतात्मजा सति मनस्विनीमानमभीक्ष्णमर्हति अहो ओ अनात्म्यं neglect mahat great asya of daksha pashyata just see prajapatehe of the prajapati yasya of whom chara acharam all living entities prajaha of offspring jahav gave up Asun, her body, yet by whom Vimata disrespected, Atmaja, his own daughter, Sati, Manaswini, voluntarily, Manam, respect, Abhikshnam, repeatedly, Arhati, deserved. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. It was astonishing that Daksha, who was Prajapati, the maintainer of all living entities, was so disrespectful to his own daughter Sati, who was not only chaste but also a great soul, but that she gave up her body because of his neglect. Purport. The word anatmya is significant. Atmya means the life of the soul. So this word indicates that although Daksha appeared to be living, actually he was a dead body. Otherwise, how could he neglect Sati, who was his own daughter? It was the duty of Daksha to look after the maintenance and comfort of all living entities because he was situated as Prajapati, the governor of all living entities. Therefore, how is it that he neglected his own daughter, who was the most exalted and chaste woman, a great soul, and who therefore deserved the most respectful treatment from her father? The death of Sati, because of her being neglected by Daksha, her father, was most astonishing to all demigods, all great demigods of the universe. नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादि पाश्चात्य जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. I humbly bow down to all the assembled Vaishnavas and thank you for giving me an opportunity to purify myself. So we are in the Canto 4, Chapter 4, where the chapter is titled Sati quits her body. So, in the lead up to this verse, we saw in the second chapter how Daksha felt insulted by Lord Shiva's not standing up when he entered the assembly, and because of that, he held this grudge and he did not invite Sati and Lord Shiva to his ceremony in his house. So, despite that, Sati wanted to go to Daksha's place, and because of the ill treatment, Sati decided to quit her body. So that's the context where we are. And in the first verse here, Srila Prabhupada talks about why did Sati give up her body, right? So the first and Srila Prabhupada says that she was dissatisfied. So one might wonder, Sati had such a high parentage. She was born to Daksha Prajapati, who is one of the progenitors of the entire universe, and she was married to Lord Shiva, who is the best among all demigods. So if we think about material, and we see a lot of people ending their lives in this material world because of not being able to be successful or having distaste for not being able to live successfully in this material world. But here, Mother Sati, she's not actually dissatisfied with material opulence because she had the best possible material opulence because her father was Daksha Prajapati himself, and she had access to all wealth, and she was incarnation of Durga Devi, and she is none other than Mother Parvati. So she is she had all the power and the beauty and everything, but still she was dissatisfied. So the question comes to why she was dissatisfied. Srila Prabhupada answers this. The dissatisfaction here is because of the neglect of Lord Shiva. So according to Mother Sati considered Lord Shiva not only as her husband but as her guru. So it is mentioned that Lord Shiva instructed Sati on Srimad Bhagavatam, and he had explained the tattva of Radharani to Mother Sati, and so Lord Shiva is none other than a guru to Mother Sati. So so the relationship which Mother Sati had with Lord Shiva was, in addition to being a husband, she had a guru relationship with the husband. Because Lord Shiva was a guru pati, and it's mentioned that she could not tolerate the Daksha's impudence to Lord Shiva, who is considered to be the most exalted Vaishnava. So it's said that Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu. And because of that, Mother Sati was very dissatisfied. And she was, and it's mentioned that it's Sudhir. She is like the most intelligent. And she didn't take this decision to immolate herself, right, out of like anger or it was not a sudden train of thought, but rather it was a very thoughtfully thought out action, because because Lord Shiva, who is a Vaishnava, was offended by Daksha, and she wanted to end her relationship with Daksha, who has offended the Vaishnava. And the best way, she thought, was to immolate herself so that the body which was given by Daksha would be finished, and by that she would not have any association with Daksha. So that's the reason why she was dissatisfied, and that's the prime mover by which she decided to immolate herself to end her relationship with Daksha. And so in the purport, so typically when we read these verses, we have two options. One is either to self-reflect and then understand what each verse means, or read the tika or the commentary given by acharyas like Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada here very beautifully explains that the reason for Sati's immolation is her dissatisfaction. And in the next passage of this purport, Srila Prabhupada explains like how one can become satisfied. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains that this place, this material world, is dukhalem asashvatam, and this is anything which we do in this material world is impermanent and it is full of miseries. So how can one be satisfied? So Srila Prabhupada quotes this verse from the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. He says, it says, Savai pumsham paro dharma yado bhakti adokshaje ahetuhi apratihata ye atma suprasidati. So if one needs complete satisfaction, then one need to take to the path of parodharma, which is to understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and start rendering devotional service to Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yato bhakti adokshaje. And that bhakti, which is the love for Godhead, has to be ahetuki and apratihata. The word hetu in Sanskrit means reason. So ahetuki means that bhakti which is not having any reason, and apratihata, without expecting anything in return. So if we perform, if we understand who the Supreme Personality of Godhead is, and then perform loving devotional service to Him without any ulterior motive, then that will give us the supreme satisfaction. So this question was asked by the sages of Naimisharanya, headed by Saunaka Rishi, to Suta Goswami. And Suta Goswami is explaining what Sukadeva Goswami spoke. And he said the one which gives the highest satisfaction is to take to the path of Parodharma and to render a loving devotional service to Supreme Personality of Godhead. By that, Atma Suprasidati. Because of by that, the soul will be completely satisfied. So that is the only way which we can have satisfaction in this material world, or in the spiritual world. So basically, the crux of this point is that Srila Prabhupada contrasts between why Sati was dissatisfied, and despite her high parentage, despite her relationship to the Supreme Personality, the Supreme Most Demigod, Lord Shiva, despite that she was dissatisfied, because that goes on to say that anybody in this material world would be dissatisfied, and the only way to derive satisfaction is to take to the path of parodharma and to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So those are two important points from the purport of the first verse. And in the second verse, Srila Prabhupada talks about Atmiya, and Atmiya means life of the soul, and this indicates that Daksha appeared to be living, but he was actually a dead body. So that's a very important point Srila Prabhupada is making, because Daksha has become very insultful to Lord Shiva, and because of that, he had this pride that he had to be respected. And since Lord Shiva did not stand up in this assembly, his pride got affected, and it clouded his judgment, and he even was so disrespectful to his own daughter, and because of that, Sati Devi gave up her life. And this is not an ordinary daughter. She was the most chaste, and she was a great soul, and she gave up her life because of his neglect. So one might wonder why, how could this happen to an elevated personality like Daksha, right? So this is explained by Lord Shri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. And so it says, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha, Sangat Teshu Upajayate, Sangat Sanjayate Kamam, Kamat Krodho Bhavanti, Krodhat Bhavanti Sammoha, Sammohat Smriti Vibramaha, Smriti Bramshat Buddhinasha, Buddhinashat Pranashyati. So this is the gradual process by which the degradation happens. So first is like one associates with the material nature, and Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha, Sangat Teshu Upajayate, Sangat Sanjayate Kamam. Because of association with the material objects, one develops desire or lust, and kamat krodho bijayate. From kama, then anger comes. From anger, krodhat bhavanti sammoha. One gets bewildered or confused. and then Brahma. So it says that one when gets bewildered, the memory is lost, and when memory is lost, Pritib Brahmsha Buddhinasha, intelligence is lost, and when intelligence is lost, Buddhinasha Pranashati. So when intelligence is lost, everything is lost. So that's the process which Lord Shri Krishna explains, and that's exactly what Daksha had. Because he was so attached to his current position as Prajapati, and he felt that he had to be respected. And because of that, the desire, and yeah, because Lord Shiva did not stand up, because Lord Shiva is in a very elevated platform, although he did not mean any disrespect, but Daksha got offended. And because of that, his entire intelligence got clouded, and and you see the entire interactions in the chapter side 2, where it's mentioned that the followers of Lord Shiva started cursing, and the followers of Daksha started cursing, counter cursing, and all these things are mentioned in the second chapter. And it's mentioned that Lord Shiva, who is the topmost Vaishnava, he was very calm and peaceful even at that time when this counter cursing and cursing was going on. He did not get involved, and he just left the arena because he knew that the people who are involved in such activities, they are not thinking about their ultimate spiritual benefit. So that goes on to say the importance of being grounded in the devotional service to Supreme Personality of Godhead. Otherwise, without being a Vaishnava, any material post we hold, it's bound to bring us down. So that's the Daksha Pradapati is an example of how, even though you hold the highest position as the progenitor, it's possible. It is possible because of material association that our intelligence might be clouded, and we won't be able to execute our duties properly. So it's also mentioned that the word Prajapati is the Praja is people, and Pati is the Lord of all the people. So the duty or the activity which is entrusted upon a Prajapati is to maintain all the living entities. So if it is true for all the living entities, then what to talk about his own daughter? But that became clouded because of his because he felt so neglected or disrespected, and that he took to his own heart, and because of that he offended Lord Shiva, and because of that he had to neglect his own daughter. And that's the reason because of which Mother Sati had to immolate herself. So those are some of the few points which I could gather on the second purport. So just summarizing, we saw that the reason why Mother Sati was immolated herself was because she was dissatisfied, and the dissatisfaction was because of the neglect of Daksha Prajapati. And the Srila Prabhupada explains in his commentary that the only way we can be satisfied is by serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead with ahetuki and apratihata, which is without expecting anything in return and not having any cost. That devotional service is what will give us satisfaction. And in the second verse, Srila Prabhupada talks about how Daksha Prajapati was like a dead body because he had neglected his daughter Sati. And we saw why the reason for this is because of attachment to the material nature and his own upadhis of being a Prajapati, and how Daksha Prajapati, being a Prajapati himself, was not able to execute his own activities of taking care of living entities, nevertheless his own daughter, Mother Sati. So those are some of points I could gather on this topic. Thank you so much.